First tip when it comes to audio is something I was given, a little bit of advice I was given back in the day when I first started audio post-production, and that is 3 words. Dialogue is king. Dialogue is number 1. Now, when I'm working on a project, I've got multiple layers in my project, but I will always hit that dialogue first, and I will treat it with the utmost of respect. So my big tip for you on any project, obviously if there's no dialogue, that's a different story, but assuming there is, dialogue needs to be treated with the utmost respect. Arguably more than anything else. It needs to be clean, it needs to be intelligible, and it needs to be well articulated, and you need to spend as much time as needed on that dialogue. So that's my first big tip. Start on the dialogue. You don't have to start on it first, but I do. I start on it first because I know if there's a problem with the dialogue, there's a problem with the production, and I need to be able to plan from there. My second tip is you've got to get your signal chain correct at the start. Now, what I mean by that, it encompasses everything with audio. So when you're recording something, and no doubt you will be, so you'll be going into the studio, whether you're field recording, whether you're recording Atmos, music, musicians, that first step needs to be absolutely spot on. Whether that first bit in your chain is the microphone, I would usually say it is. So if you're using a high quality microphone, that's correct, and your cables are all fine, they're all working good, and you've got a good preamp, you can deal with anything. You can deal with almost anything. But if you've got the best performer in the world, if you've got the best sound that you've just recorded, it means nothing if the first part in your signal chain is wrong. You know, if you introduce noise that early in your chain, then you're going to have problems. And the same goes for filming. If you're on set and you've got your boom and that recording is not clean, I count that as the first step in a sort of all-encompassing signal chain. So if that step is bad, and that goes back to the dialogue, if that step is bad, everything will become a nightmare from there. So my big tip, get it right on source. My third tip is learn Pro Tools inside and out. Now, what I mean by that is learn shortcuts. Learn as many shortcuts as possible to make your workflow for yourself work. You don't have to learn all the shortcuts that Pro Tools has to offer, but learn shortcuts that will make you work faster and more efficiently, because that is worth its weight in gold. And another thing as well, a big tip which I like to say to people about Pro Tools and learning how to use it, if you feel like you've gotten to a certain point, teach a friend how to use it, because they will run into problems that you might not see. And learning to solve problems teaches you how to be a better person. And I've learned that from years of teaching, is that I learn things from students. When things go wrong, I learn how to fix them. So it's kind of 2 tips in 1. Learn shortcuts that work for you, and learn how to use Pro Tools in and out, and teach people how to do it, because you will learn how to fix any problem that comes your way. Number 4. Is do your research. Now, this is a weird thing to be talking about with audio, but one of the things I've noticed people do is they find their own way of doing things and then they stick with it. From a music point of view, as a guitarist, I've learned loads of different styles of guitar playing throughout the years, and it shaped me into my own style. And I do that with audio. So I've got my own style, but that hasn't been born from just me. That's from watching people trying something, hating point A and B, but loving how they do point C, and then bringing that into my own work. And I meet so many people who don't view YouTube videos of sound designers. They don't listen to interviews. They don't, critically listen to their favorite things. They don't watch their favorite shows over and over to hear how they're doing things. There are so many subtle differences in dialogue, in music, in sound effects, in mixing, that you can try it and you can say, oh, I like what they've done here with the fade. So you try it on your next production, and if you like it, you stick to it. And I think that's something that a lot of sound designers don't do, especially when they're starting off. So that's a big tip from me. I'm always doing that. Whenever I get a spare few days, I'll watch some new things and try them out. Try a mix that I've done before with some new techniques I've learned from someone else. If I hate them, I carry on, because they've worked for them and not for me. But if I've picked up something, it's something that I can adapt and use in my work.